Shabbat Shalom. Good morning, YouTube. Today we are again reading out of our Bible. I am using the Scriptures translation. I hope you are following along in your own Bible. Don't take my word for it. So grab your coffee, grab your Bible, and let's read. Today we are starting a new book. We are starting in Deuteronomy chapter 1. These are the words which Moshe spoke to all Israel beyond the Jordan in the wilderness, in the desert plain opposite Suf, between Paran and Tophel and Laban and Hatzeroth and Dizaheb. 11 days' journey from Horeb by way of Mount Seir to Kadesh Barnea. And it came to be in the 40th year, in the 11th new moon, on the first day of the new moon, that Moshe spoke to the children of Israel, according to all that Yahweh had commanded him concerning them. After he had stricken Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, and Og, sovereign of Bashan, who dwelt at Ashtaroth in Edrei, beyond the Jordan, in the land of Moab, Moshe undertook to declare this Torah, saying, Yahweh our Elohim spoke to us in Horeb, saying, You have dwelt long enough at this mountain. Turn and set out on your way, and go into the mountains of the Amorites, and to all the neighboring places in the desert plain, in the mountains, and in the low country, and in the Negeb, and on the seacoast, and on the land of the Canaanites, and to Lebanon, as far as the great river, the river Euphrates. See, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and Jacob, and give to them their seed after them. And I spoke to you at that time, saying, I am unable to bear you by myself. Yahweh your Elohim has increased you, and see, you are today as numerous as the stars of the heavens. Yahweh Elohim of your fathers is going to add to you 1,000 times more than you are, and bless you as he has spoken to you. How do I bear your pressure and your burden and your strife by myself? Choose men, wise and understanding, and known to your tribes, and let me appoint them as your heads. And you answered me and said, The word which you have spoken to us to do is good. And I took the heads of your tribes, wise men and known, and made them heads over you, leaders of thousands, and leaders of hundreds, and leaders of 50s, and leaders of 10s, and officers for your tribes. And I commanded your judges at that time, saying, When hearing between your brothers, judge righteously between a man and his brother, or the sojourner who is with him. Do not show partiality in right ruling. Hear the small as well as the great. Do not be afraid of anyone's face, for the right ruling belongs to Elohim. And the case which is too hard for you, bring it to me, and I shall hear it. And I commanded you at that time all the words which you should do. Then we set out from Horeb and went through all that great and awesome wilderness, which you saw on the way to the mountains of the Amorites, as Yahweh our Elohim had commanded us. And we came to Kadesh Barnea. And I said to you, You have come to the mountains of the Amorites, which Yahweh our Elohim is giving us. See, Yahweh your Elohim has set the land before you. Go up and possess it, as Yahweh Elohim of your fathers has spoken to you. Do not fear, nor be discouraged. And all of you came near to me and said, Let us send men before us, and let them search out the land for us, and bring back word to us of the way by which we should go up, and of the cities into which we would come. And the matter was good in my eyes, so I took 12 of your men, 1 man from each tribe, and they turned and went up into the mountains, and they came to the Wadi Eshcol, and spied it out. And they took some of the fruit of the land in their hands and brought it down to us. And they brought back word to us, saying, The land which Yahweh our Elohim is giving us is good. But you would not go up, and rebelled against the mouth of Yahweh your Elohim, and grumbled in your tents, and said, Because Yahweh was hating us, he has brought us out of the land of Mitzrayim, to give us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us. Where are we going to? Our brothers have made our hearts melt, saying, The people are greater and taller than we. The cities are great and walled up to the heavens. And we saw the sons of the Anakim there too. Then I said to you, Have no dread or fear of them. Yahweh your Elohim, who is going before you, he does fight for you according to all he did for you in Mitzrayim before your eyes, and in the wilderness, where you saw how Yahweh your Elohim has borne you. As a man bears his son, in all the way that you went until you came to this place. Yet in this matter you are putting no trust in Yahweh your Elohim. who is going before you in the way to seek out a place for you to pitch your tents, to show you the way you should go, in fire by night and in cloud by day. And Yahweh heard the voice of your words and was wroth, and took an oath, saying, Not one of these men of this evil generation shall see the good land of which I swore to give to your fathers, except Caleb son of Jephunneh. He shall see it, and to him and his children I give the land on which he walked, because he followed Yahweh completely. And Yahweh was enraged with me for your sake, saying, You do not go in there either. Yehoshua the son of Nun, who stands before you, he shall go in there. Strengthen him, for he shall cause Israel to inherit. And your little ones and your children, who you say are for a prey, who today have no knowledge of good and evil, they are going in there. And to them I give it, and they are to possess it. But you, turn and take your journey into the wilderness by the way of the Sea of Reeds. Then you answered and said to me, We have sinned against Yahweh. We ourselves are going up, and we shall fight, as Yahweh our Elohim commanded us. And when each one of you had girded on his battle gear, you were ready to go up into the mountain. And Yahweh said to me, Say to them, Do not go up nor fight, for I am not in your midst, lest you be smitten before your enemies. So I spoke to you, but you would not listen, and rebelled against the mouth of Yahweh, and acted proudly, and went up into the mountain. Then the Amorites who dwelt in that mountain came out against you, and chased you as bees do, and drove you back from Seir to Hormah. And you returned and wept before Yahweh, but Yahweh would not listen to your voice, nor give ear to you. So you dwelt in Kadesh many days, according to the days that you dwelt. So, Deuteronomy, we have a lot of retelling. Before they go into the land, don't forget, this is what happened, kind of a deal. Chapter 2. Then we turned and set out into the wilderness, the way of the Sea of Reeds, as Yahweh spoke to me. And we went round Mount Seir many days. And Yahweh spoke to me, saying, You have gone around this mountain long enough. Turn northward. And command the people, saying, You are about to pass over into the border of your brothers, the descendants of Esau, who live in Seir, and they are afraid of you, so be on your guard. Do not strive with them, for I do not give you any of their land. No, not so much as one footstep, because I have given Mount Seir to Esau as a possession. What food you buy from them with silver you shall eat, and also what water you buy from them with silver you shall drink. For Yahweh your Elohim has blessed you in all the work of your hand. He has known your wandering through his great wilderness. These 40 years Yahweh your Elohim has been with you, and you have not lacked any matter. And when we passed beyond our brothers, the descendants of Esau, who dwell in Seir, away from the way of the desert plain, away from Eliath and Etzion Geber, we turned and passed over by way of the wilderness of Moab. And Yahweh said to me, Do not distress Moab, nor stir yourself up against them in battle, for I do not give you any of their land as a possession, because I have given Ar to the descendants of Lot as a possession. The Emites had dwelt there formerly, a people as great and numerous and tall as the Anakim. They were also reckoned as Rephaites, like the Anakim, but the Moabites call them Emites. And the Horites formerly dwelt in Seir, but the descendants of Esau disposed them and destroyed them from before them, and dwelt in their place, as Israel did to the land of their possession, which Yahweh gave them. Now rise up and pass over the Wadi Zered. So we passed over the Wadi Zered, and the time we took to come from Kadesh Barnea until we passed over the Wadi Zered was 38 years, until all the generation of men of battle was consumed from the midst of the camp, as Yahweh had sworn to them. And also the hand of Yahweh was against them, to destroy them from the midst of the camp until they were consumed. And it came to be, when all the men of battle had finally perished from among the people, that Yahweh spoke to me, saying, This day you are to pass over at Ar, the boundary of Moab. And when you come near the children of Ammon, do not distress them, nor stir yourself up against them. For I do not give you any of the land of the children of Ammon as a possession, because I have given it to the descendants of Lot as a possession. That was also reckoned as a land of Rephaites. Rephaites formerly dwelt there, but the Ammonites call them Zamzamin, a people as great and numerous and tall as the Anakim. But Yahweh destroyed them before them, and they disposed them and dwelt in their place. as he had done for the descendants of Esau who dwelt in Seir, when he destroyed the Horites from before them. They disposed them and dwelt in their place even to this day. And the Awim who dwelt in villages as far as Azah, the Caphtorim who came from Caphtor, destroyed them and dwelt in their place. Arise, set out, and pass over the Wadi Arnon. See, I have given into your hand Sihon the Amorite, sovereign of Heshbon, and his land. Begin to possess it, and stir up yourself against him in battle. This day I begin to put the dread and fear of you upon the people under the heavens, whom, when they hear the report of you, shall tremble and shake because of you. Then I sent messengers from the wilderness of Kedemoth to Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon, with words of peace, saying, Let me pass over through your land on the highway. I shall go on the highway and turn neither to the right nor to the left. What food you sell me for silver I shall eat, and what water you give me for silver I shall drink. Only let me pass over on foot. As the descendants of Esau who dwell in Seir, and the Moabites who dwell in Ar did for me, until I pass over the Jordan to the land Yahweh our Elohim is giving us. But Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon, would not let us pass over. For Yahweh your Elohim hardened his spirit and strengthened his heart to give him into your hand, as it is this day. And Yahweh said to me, See, I have begun to give Sihon and his land over to you. Begin to possess, in order to possess his land. And Sihon and all his people came out against us to fight at Yahatz. And Yahweh our Elohim gave him over to us, so we struck him, and his sons and all his people. And we took all his cities at that time, and we put the men, women, and little ones of every city under the ban. We left none remaining. Only the livestock we took as plunder for ourselves, and the spoil of the cities which we captured. From Aroer, which is on the edge of the Wadi Arnon, and the city that is by the Wadi, as far as Gilad, there was not one city too high for us. Yahweh our Elohim gave all to us. Only you did not go near the land of the children of Ammon, anywhere along the Wadi Yabak, or the cities of the mountains, or anywhere as Yahweh our Elohim commanded us. So, more retelling of what they did and showing which lands went to other peoples that were related to Abraham, etc., like Esau, but weren't from Jacob's line. Chapter 3. Then we turned and went up the way to Bashan, and Og, sovereign of Bashan, came out against us, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. And Yahweh said to me, Do not fear him, for I have given him and all his people and his land into your hand. And you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon. So Yahweh our Elohim also gave us into our hands Og, sovereign of Bashan, with all his people, and we struck him until he had no survivors remaining. And we captured all his cities at that time. There was not a city which we did not take from them. 60 cities, all the district of Argob, the reign of Og, in Bashan. All these cities were fenced with high walls, gates, and bars, besides a great many unwalled towns. And we put them under the ban as we did at Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon, putting the men, women, and the children of every city under the ban. But all the livestock and the spoil of the cities we took as booty for ourselves. And at that time we took the land from the hand of the two sovereigns of the Amorites, that was beyond the Jordan, from the Wadi Arnon to Mount Hermon. Sidonians call Hermon Sirion, and the Amorites call it Senir. All the cities of the plain, all Gilead and all Bashan, as far as Salcah and Edrei, cities of the reign of Og in Bashan. For only Og, sovereign of Bashan, was left of the remnant of the Raphaites. See, his bedstead was an iron bedstead. Is it not in Rabbah of the children of Ammon? 9 cubits is its length, and 4 cubits its width, according to the cubit of a man. And this land which we possessed at that time from Aroer, which is by the Wadi Arnon, and half the mountains of Gilead, and its cities, I gave to the Reubenites and the Gadites. And the rest of Gilead and all Bashan in the reign of Og, I gave half the tribe of Manasseh, all the district of Argob, with all Bashan, called the land of the Raphaites. Yair, son of Manasseh, had taken the district of Argob as far as the border of the Geshurites and the Maacathites, and called them after his own name, the Bashan of Hawoth Yair, to this day. And to Machir I gave Gilad. And to the Reubenites and the Gadites I gave from Gilad as far as the Wadi Arnon, the middle of the Wadi as the border, as far as the Wadi Yabok, and the border of the children of Ammon, and the desert plain with the Yarden as the border, from Kinnereth as far as the sea of Arabah, the salt sea, below the slopes of Pisgah on the east. And I commanded you at that time, saying, Yahweh your Elohim has given you this land to possess. All your sons of might pass over armed before your brothers, the children of Israel. But let your wives and your little ones and your livestock, I know that you have much livestock, stay in your cities which I have given you, until Yahweh has given rest to your brothers as to you. And they also possess the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving them beyond the Yarden. Then you shall return, each man to his possession which I have given you. And I commanded Yehoshua at that time, saying, your eyes have seen all that Yahweh your Elohim has done to these two sovereigns. Yahweh does the same to all the reigns which you are passing over. Do not fear them, for Yahweh your Elohim himself fights with you. And I pleaded with Yahweh at that time, saying, O Master Yahweh, you have begun to show your servant your greatness and your strong hand. For who is a mighty one in the heavens or on earth who does according to your works and according to your might? I pray, let me pass over and see the good land beyond the Yarden, this good hill country, and Lebanon. But Yahweh was enraged with me for your sake and would not listen to me. And Yahweh said to me, enough of that. Speak no more to me about this matter. Go up to the top of Pisgah and lift up your eyes westward and northward and southward and eastward, and look with your eyes, for you do not pass over this Yarden. But command Yehoshua and strengthen him and make him brave, for he shall pass over before this people and cause them to inherit the land which you see. And we dwelt in the valley opposite Baeth Peor. So just retelling where they're going and who they're conquering, and that is the end of the reading for today. And I hope you're following along with us. Join us again next Saturday. May the Father bless you. Shalom.